welcome back. This is CerealSnax, and today I'm looking at a game called Mechwarrior Online. You've probably heard of this game. It's been in development for a long time, and it's very exciting for those people who grew up playing Mechwarrior and BattleTech games. I know I did. I was addicted to Mechwarrior 2 and just loved it, and I also played some of the older, real old BattleTech type games, which are very detailed. Like the legends and the lore of BattleTech and Mechwarrior are very deep, and like each mech has a story, and there are clans and there are planets, all kinds of crazy just detail that this world has. Now I was going to show you kind of it's a free-to-play game, so there's a free-to-play store, and I was going to show you the store, but I think instead I'm just going to jump into some action and show you what the gameplay is like. It's very, actually there's quite a steep learning curve in my opinion, and actually I'm loading up with a Jenner right now, so let's just see how we do. You can see there's at least, let's see, it's like 10 people on each team, and I picked a Jenner because that's what I'm familiar with from Mechwarrior 2, and of course I have to run right into a water tank. And what I like to do with the Jenner is, this is of course, it's an assault game, so there is a base that you assault, and your goal is to destroy that base and capture it, basically capture the flag in this particular map, and I'm guessing they'll be coming out with more maps later. Now if you're familiar with the original Mechwarrior games, you're essentially riding around in this giant robot, and you've got a number of weapons available to you. For the Jenner is really focused on speed and focused on, you don't have a lot of heat sinks, so you can't shoot a lot. You have to really be really careful what you shoot and when you shoot, and just make it really count, every shot count. That's what I kind of like about this game. Now there's a couple things that are neat about the gameplay. You can see my throttle there on the left, and I'm just pushing up and down to do the throttle. The other thing is that the mouse actually lets you move your head, so you can look around and still be moving. Much like the older games, you can actually be moving in one direction while looking in another, and that's kind of a neat gameplay feature that this has always kind of had. And so what I'm doing right now is actually, as a Jenner, I always feel like I'm more of a hit and run kind of scout. I like to divert attention from my team, which is actually going for the assault. So the bigger mechs tend to stick together, it seems like, and as a Jenner, I only stick with the bigger mechs when I'm really getting focused on by the enemy. So it's kind of my tactic. I'm by no means an expert at this game, and like I said, the learning curve is relatively steep. Now if you look at the throttle controls kind of on my dashboard as I'm doing this, the left is my speed, the right you can see is my heat. You can see I'm already like 80% heat, which means I really can't fire. I just, see now there, now I just fired, and that is causing me to shut down. I can override it, but I really can't do much else after I've overrode my heat. That person just ran into me, knocking me over. These smaller mechs can get knocked over by the bigger mechs, and it kind of puts you out of the action for a little while, and does a little bit of damage as well, I believe. So you can see the guys with the little blue arrows on top of their head are actually my team, and the guys with the red are the other team, and I'm kind of in a bad situation right here. So I'm going to try to get out of this situation as quick as I can. I can't fire, I can't do really much of anything. The other thing I always have to watch out for is the other Jenners. You can see here in the water there's another Jenner running around on the opposite team, and they're always a threat because they'll try to go after the opposing team's Jenners to take them out, because you don't want these scouts just running around causing havoc. So it's more or less like a death match to this particular map. And there's multiple maps, and I might show another one after I discuss this one, because I'm trying to just get the basics out, and I'm sure this game won't last forever. So what's going on here is I'm just continuing to fight these robots. You can see there's like the different size robots. That's a slower moving robot, and usually when I get into combat with those guys, I just try to get out of the way, because once I get my shot off, my heat gets up so high that I really can't do much else. Oops, there's two other guys here. I'm going to jump over them. You have jump jets, which in my configuration is actually the space bar, and those jump jets allow you to kind of have limited flight to some extent, help you get away from crazy action that's going on. I'm going to run back towards these blue guys that are mine. Taking a lot of damage actually. Oof, I just keep getting beat up by the bad guys here. Now on the top you can see the HUD has all kinds of information too. There's a little bluish square with a triangle, or like a diamond inside of it. That's our base, and then the red one, it just went off the screen there. There it is to the left a little bit, is the enemy base that we're going towards. So what I'm trying to do now is actually get back into my team area, and you can see there's a red person following me on the mini map. And I think it's the other Jenner. Yep, and there he is running around in the water trying to take me out. You always got to watch out for the other team's Jenner. And he ran right into me, knocking me down. I'm not sure really what advantage a Jenner knocking down a Jenner really has, unless it was by accident, but he's going to get taken out pretty quick if he sticks around, because I'm now surrounded by my friends, which was kind of my goal. Run in there, cause a little bit of strife, divert some of the enemy's attention, and then get back into this group of big mechs where I can kind of be protected. And look, I'm getting all kinds of assists for contributing to damage of bots that I'm killing. Actually, in many ways, I feel pretty good about that. I actually feel like I dragged that Jenner right into my big mechs and he got killed, so that actually worked out really well. So regardless, the graphics are pretty impressive. The lighting and all that are pretty good. I mean, you know, some of the complaints I have about it is that you run over trees and stuff and the trees don't fall over, and I mean, you know, those are probably minor complaints, but the environment is not very destructible. It just kind of smokes and gets set on fire, but it doesn't really do much else other than that. So there's kind of that. That may change. It's a free-to-play game, and there is the ability to buy mechs and buy weapons. I have not yet delved deep enough into it to really see if it's a pay-to-win type game, and I hope it isn't, because Mechwarrior has always been to me about strategy and about really just playing the right way, and I'd hate to be a way where you could just buy the right weapons and you'd be able to just be like instant win. I think that would go against pretty much all that Mechwarrior ever stood for, but I really like the complexity of it, and I think that's what they're going for. They didn't want to dumb down the Mechwarrior franchise, and because the main reason I think Mechwarrior 2 was so popular and interesting to people is because it was almost like those old flight simulators like F-19 and F-117A, where you had a lot of controls and a lot of dials and a lot of things to control, and I think there's a niche out there in the gaming world of people who really enjoy that sort of thing. If you're not one of those people, this probably isn't the game for you, but I happen to like that, where you have a lot of different things you can kind of be manipulating as you're in combat. You gotta watch your heat, you gotta watch your speed, you gotta watch which direction you're looking, your gun loadout. You can see that I've got just medium lasers, and actually 2 of my lasers are actually destroyed because I've lost an arm or something, but when you can actually go into the mech lab early in the game and you can configure your mechs. Now the early trial mechs are, you know, the loadouts are pretty decent. I think having 4 medium lasers on a Jenner is pretty good. So far I don't feel like I'm been outmatched. I'm doing relatively well as a Jenner with just the basic loadout. So I like that so far. I don't know if there's a lot of founder mechs, and if you pay money to buy the game, you actually get a founder mech. I just happened to get accepted into beta a long time ago. Early closed beta when there was still an NDA, and actually the reason I'm putting a video out now is because the NDA has been released as of October 2nd, so you know, I'm just kind of enjoying the game for what it is. I'm kind of not 100% focusing on this game right here, but you can see I've got critical damage. I'm kind of a mess, but I've survived this long and my team is doing pretty well. You can see up on the top it tells you how long the game has been going, or how much time is left in the game, and depending on if you can't destroy the other person's base or capture the other person's base in the assault mode, whoever has the most points or whatever will then win the game when the time runs out, if that happens. But you can already see we've had 7 kills and they've had 2 up on the top, so they're having a hard time against us. And we actually lost a player early in the game, so I'm pretty happy with this. This is a pretty good game so far. And you can see just a lot of the effects and that sort of thing are really good. I noticed in the graphic settings that I had the option to choose a DirectX mode, but right now it only allowed me to pick DirectX 9. So if they do enable something like DirectX 11, where there's all kinds of, you know, pieces of paper fluttering around and that sort of stuff, that'd be really incredible. Because right now the game runs pretty nicely for being in beta. I'm very impressed with just the quality of it. I'm not having any lag, not having any of those kind of issues, so a lot of fun so far. So I think once we destroy this guy, the game's going to be over. As you can see, as a Jenner, I don't do a whole lot of damage, but that's not really the point, I don't think, of a Jenner. A Jenner is really just to kind of mess around. So here's the match summary screen. You can see we won. You get these CB points, which you can actually use to buy things. You can see it on the right, the C bills. Of course, you see I got 7 assists. Pretty happy about that. I didn't get any kills, but I think that's harder to do as a Jenner. So we won the game. So there are multiple maps. That first map we did was kind of like an industrial type city, and actually this one may also be in the same exact map. I'm not positive. Let's just take a look. But regardless, there's multiple maps. There's the city type map, the industrial, and maybe that's what this one is again. But there's also a snow map, which I really kind of like. Actually, I was hoping I'd get a snow map. And then there's also the forested type map. Those are the only 3 I've seen so far. I'm sure there's probably more. But that's kind of nice that they have multiple maps already, and hopefully they continue to do that. So let's just get in here and let me just show you kind of some more gameplay here, just to give you an idea of what this game is really all about. Alright, so let's see here. I think this is the forested area. So there's a raven. He's on our team. That's a different type, almost like a Jenner. If you guys are familiar with these games, you'll remember all these mechs and kind of what they were all about. There's the Atlas, which is the big mech with the little tiny head. People always joke about destroying the head. There he goes with his jump jets. So this is the forested map, I believe. We're just on the outskirts of it, kind of where there's some industrial stuff. And right now, let's see, I've got my 4 medium lasers, and I'm just going to head straight for their base and see what I can do. See if I can cause some havoc. This guy's behind me. The Raven, maybe the two of us as kind of fast-moving mechs can just cause a little bit of issue starting out. So let's just go up here. I'm going to stay down in these little tracks that are around the area. See, oh gosh, oh whoa, there's already 3 mechs down there gonna run for it. Oh, and they've got heat-seeking missiles, so I may be in trouble, and not much I can do. Just gonna have to soak it up. Oh, oof, that is brutal. I didn't really take any damage though, I don't think. You know, if you're not hit for enough off the bat like that, you're not really gonna get totally slammed. Okay, now here's a guy all by himself. He's getting chased by 3 of my guys. Let's just go after him maybe. See what he's. Oh, it looks like it's an enemy Jenner. Maybe I can cut him off. Here he comes. Ooh, and of course my aim is terrible. And now he's going after me. Oh, missed him again, I think. Although he is oh geez, overheated. So you got to be careful. Oh no, I didn't. This guy ran into me. So this is again another enemy player ran into me and knocked me over. Not sure what the purpose of that really was. But that's okay. Okay, so Running Wolf is running. Okay. He had like 68% of his armor. You can see the little percentages on the target thing with the reticle when you kind of hover over them. Let's see what's going on over here. Everything's on fire, basically. Oh, there's Running Wolf again. Let's see if we can track this guy down. Oof. Oh, and he is gone. Wow. Yeah, he got hit by a couple. Now, see, you can see how weak the Jenner is. You don't want to get in the way of these bigger mechs. You just want to kind of dodge around them, you know, dance like a butterfly, sting like a bee, I guess, because they can really do some epic damage to you. Let's see, there's a guy running down this canyon over here. Let's go check him out, see if we can eliminate him. Let's see, where did he go? Okay, that's interesting. I must have missed him somehow. Now you can see I'm running through the trees and I just kind of go through the trees. It's kind of disappointing. I wish that they had done it so that when you run through the trees they just fell over, you know, and that you left footprints on the ground and that sort of thing. But maybe that's just wishful thinking for a free-to-play game. You know, what we're getting is pretty decent. I think the setup and all that, and it remains to be seen how popular this game will be, but there's 2,000 people online in the beta right now, and it seems like a lot of the people are enjoying it. When I queue up, I immediately get popped into a game, so we'll see. You know, from free-to-play games are interesting just because of the whole strategy they have for monetization, and this one I've just got to be honest that it seems complicated to me. I know that with Super Monday Night Combat, for example, it was very easy to tell kind of what your money would be spent on and why you were spending it and what you would get for spending that. The screen, I guess that's probably one of my first things, is that, and that's part of the reason why I didn't put it in a video. Of course, here I am getting slaughtered by another Jenner. Okay, so I'm dead. But while we're spectating, I'll talk a little bit about the free-to-play monetization strategy. We'll watch somebody who's really good at this game actually fight. Anyway, the monetization strategy has got to be clear, I think, to people, because as a gamer, I don't have like more than 10 or 20 seconds usually to kind of look at a screen and try to understand what they're trying to sell me in a free-to-play screen. And in this particular instance, in the Mechwarrior free-to-play, it's not something that I looked at it and it seemed confusing. Like, do I buy like these rifles or buy these mechs, and like what the loadout should be, and all kinds of complicated stuff. I feel like they need to dumb it down for the gaming population, and it's not because the gaming population is dumb. I think it's because we just, as a culture, need things to be just kind of spelled out for us easily and quickly. And you may disagree with that, but I do know that with Super Monday Night Combat, it's very clear what you're getting and what you're paying for. And I always like that because you can just kind of click on something and say, oh yeah, it's an XP boost, or oh yeah, that's this or that. And a lot of games do that really well. I reviewed Air Mech, and that game also has a very clear monetization. You know exactly what you're buying and how. Now, of course, yeah, when you buy a mech, you know what kind of mech you're getting, but even that was unclear. Like, if you don't have a lot of history with Mechwarrior and you don't know a lot about the lore, then when you're buying, like, for example, like a Raven or a Commando mech, you don't really, unless it's spelled out for you, understand what that Commando mech really is. So you may say, I don't even know what a Commando mech is. Why would I spend $10 for it, or whatever it's going to cost ultimately? And that's my only real gripe about it. Other than that, I'm pretty impressed with the game. I think it's held very true to Mechwarrior kind of standards of gameplay, and the way it plays out feels very good. This game, I think, would be one of those awesome games played in one of those virtual reality eye things. I know that there's that new one coming out, or that's come out already on the Kickstarter, and it would be amazing to play this game like in a first-person kind of visor like that, because I think it would play out really well, like you're in this cockpit and running around. So anyway, I'm gonna leave this game and just let it play. There's only probably a little bit left because you can see the enemy is pretty much wiping us out. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you liked this quick look at Mechwarrior Online. It's basically a first impressions. I might do some reviews of it later once it really starts to get rolling. But if you liked, please like and please subscribe, and thanks for joining me.